800 and also the 1500 that come Tokyo 2012.
Yeah, I think she's certainly dished the 800, but the 1500's got to be very tempting for her. It has to be for any open water swimmer. But I think that's her intention now. Is right. I've done my pool swimming. I've got my 2 Olympic medals. I'm happy with that. I need to try a new challenge, and that's what she sees it as. So people who go from pool swimming to the open water go, right, I need a new challenge. I don't mind getting hit in the face with an arm or a leg or whatever it might be. I want to go and try something new.
Well, I think this is the perfect time to try something new. With 2 years before the Olympics, so even if she doesn't like that new thing, the open water swimming, she might come back.
Well, we'll see as we introduce them in this 8-1, 7-2, 6-3-5-4 order. And Julia Hassler, well, Liechtenstein doesn't produce too many swimmers, but she's in the final.
She was the first ever to win a medal for Liechtenstein at last year's European Short Course Championships. So Tessa Oder up in lane 1. She was third 2 years ago at the Europeans. Then it's Jimena Perez, finished 6th 2 years ago at the London European Championships, and is the reigning European champion. We are talking about Bogdarka Kopash, of course, Olympic bronze medalist from Hungary.
And is the fastest woman in the world in Europe this year. Obviously nowhere near Katie Ledecky, but as far as Europe's concerned, I mean, Katie Ledecky's in a completely different sphere, a completely different planet, let's be honest, when it comes to this race.
Annie Agvarova, no one really knows what to expect from her, with a new personal best, ranking 3rd in the preliminaries. Then Aina Keshe, junior European champion, 15 times actually. Just won the last title a few weeks ago in Helsinki. And then qualifying fastest, Simona Quadarella from Italy, finished 5th at the Europeans and 7th last year at the World Championships in Budapest.
We talk a lot about the Italian distance swimmers, men. Obviously, they've got a couple of really good ones. Maybe the women are following suit, perhaps the likes of Detti, and obviously the others who come through over the last few years are now saying, right, okay, you can do it too. Well, you mentioned Rebecca Adlington. That record will, I'm sure, remain on the books. As in Jazz Carlin's European Championship record probably will do as well. And don't even think about Katie Ledecky's record. I mean, ridiculous. 8:07.27 she's done this year. And nobody's been under 8:20 in Europe. So she's 13 seconds quicker than anybody in Europe. In fact, anybody around the world, pretty much. Final of the 800 freestyle for women. It's interesting to see how this race has kind of changed over the years. The 4 and the 8 have kind of changed complexion. The Australians started to do that in the Kieran Perkins and Grant Hackett era. It became kind of a semi-sprint in a way. People wanted to try and impose themselves early in the race and put down a marker rather than wait for the latter stages.
Yes, and it's really, really interesting to see what's going on their minds right now. We can see that Kopash is way back, even after the first 50 meters. It is Sarah Köhler who sets the pace, and I think she will be the one, either her or Quadarella, who will make a move at around halfway mark.
Well, there isn't a great deal between them in terms of time. 8:20.53 for Köhler, fastest time in Europe this year, which was set back in April, and then Quadarella did an 8:20.99 in Rome back in June. So the two of them are only separated by 0.4 of a second at the moment. They're separated by just 0.21 after 100.
There's still a lot to go. Under a minute after the first 100 meters. It is Sarah Köhler, the early leader. We mentioned that in the preliminaries of this event, Simona Quadarella had the best time of all. There was 8:23, and when she swam that, it was a lot slower in the first 100 meters.
Must have been a great Hungarian nationals when Kopash up there against Keszely, both of them finishing pretty much together there. Quadarella then just 0.17 behind when they turn that time. It'll be the quarter way when they come down below us, which they're virtually doing now. Lane 4, Quadarella from Italy, just starting to open those arms a little bit.
And still in the lead now.
The fly kick, the butter kick going behind, and then it is Curler in second place, but they're only separated at the moment by 15/100ths of a second. Kesley in third place, then Egorova in 4. And is there a break coming? No, I think they're holding pretty much tight to each other. Lanes 4 and 5, nothing to choose between them. And we'll keep an eye also on Bogoloka Kapas in lane number 2. She's starting to look like she might be working her way into 3rd or 4th place eventually. Certainly early stages yet, so European records. Just have a look and see where it is. Now we're a couple of seconds outside her, so I think that's safe for today.
That is, and Quadrella already making their move and trying to pull away from Köhler and Keisei. Kapas way back, and she tries to catch up with Yegorova for the 4th place right now.
Quadrella for Italy coming in for this turn, about a body length clear of Kesley. Well, the gap is only about half a second, and then we're talking about not much further back to Sarah Köhler, and 4th place to Egorova. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still very much in the mix of the 800 freestyle here, because we've not even reached halfway yet.
And the pace is a lot faster than in the preliminaries, almost 3 seconds up on her own pace. Simona Quadrella right now.
There's the Italian coach, just making sure the instructions are getting through to his swimmer. She is leading, but that lead is still slender. Kesley in 2nd place. 3rd place is Sarah Köhler. 4th is Kapas on the far side, but the Italian is dictating terms here. She wants to swim this race her way and not worry about anybody around her, because she can't see anybody else right now.
Yeah, and she, ever since the first 100 meters, Quadrella is pulling away. At each 50 meters, she has a better lap, like by 0.3 than Köhler, Keisei, and even Kapas.
So Italy 1, Hungary 2 at the moment.
The last 50 was 31.1 for Quadrella, 31.5 for Keisei.
Now the Italian starting to roll just a little bit. She's putting a little bit more effort in. Let's see what the gap is when they turn this time. 4:39 compared to 4:41. Then Köhler in 3rd. Kapas, when will she start to make her move?
Maybe she already did that move. So overtaking Yegorova and trying to catch up with Köhler, who swims on the other side of the pool, so she really doesn't see her. However,
it's hard to see past the Italian at 500 meters, isn't it? The way she's swimming.
When she's extending that lead, once again, another, that was sub 31, this 50 meters. Yet again, a quarter of a second up on Aina Keisei, swimming in 2nd position, and now Kapas is in 3rd position, just overtaking Sarah Köhler.
Well, to me, even at this stage, it looks like Quadrella is gone.
Absolutely.
Trying to catch her now is going to be virtually impossible unless she catches, as they call in rowing terms, a crab. But she's looking very strong, and everything working symmetrically from her point of view, and that gap is extending. It's well over 2 seconds now, and it might be a Hungary 2-3, but it's going to be an Italy win by the looks of things.
And if you look at the split, if you remember, yeah, the coach is getting very excited, just like the peers on the pool deck. So if you look at the split compared to the European record split, after the first 150 meters, it was already around 2 seconds. And now at 600 meters, it is still 2.6. So she is swimming in the pace of Rebecca Adlington.
8:14.10 was that time for Rebecca Adlington. And that was set back in Beijing when she took her gold medal on the 16th of August. And I remember it very well. It had been a long, long time that anybody got 2 gold medals for Great Britain at the Olympic Games. In fact, it was 100 years since Britain had got 2 gold medals at the Olympic Games, and Rebecca Adlington did it then. Quadrella, though, she's not quite doing a Ledecky, but she's doing something similar here, just killing the rest of the field.
Absolutely. Very convincing swim, and we're approaching the 700-meter mark. And I think it's going to be a huge battle between Yegorova and Kopash for the third spot. And maybe Yegorova is overtaking now the reigning champion up in lane 3.
Well, in which case we will be crowning a new 800 meters freestyle champion in 100 meters, and her name is Simona Quadarella. She has looked superb. She went at the right time. She made sure there was no response, no reaction from the rest of the swimmers. Hard though they were trying, she was just going to break the field wide open, and that is what she's done. But the bronze medal, that's tighter.
Yes, also Sarah Köhler in the mix. However, Anna Egorova looks really strong in the final 100 meters. She's coached by great Philip Duca, who was the coach of Laura Manadou, also Federica Pellegrini at one time, and of course Sharon van Rooyendaal, the open water swimming Olympic champion. So she must have the power for the final 100 meters, Anna Egorova. And so does Quadarella, winning by almost 10 meters.
Let's see our champion home, and she really is a true champion. It'll be gold for Italy. The coach can now relax. She's done the job, and she's done it very well. Look at that time. Fastest in Europe by quite some way this year. 8:16.35 for Quadarella. She's won that by well over 5 seconds. Hungarian 2 and Russia 3rd. Anna Egorova did hold on for 3rd place despite Sarah Köhler finishing quickly, and Quadarella finished that off with a sub 30.50 with 29.48.
And one more thing to mention, Aina Keshe, the young Hungarian, setting yet another European junior record, improving her best by more than 2 seconds.
Well, great talent to look forward to for the future. Hungary will be very happy to have 2 of that kind of standard. 2 and 4 is where the Hungarian, 2 and 5 in the end, where the Hungarian swimmers finished. Köhler beating Kopash into 4th place, but it's Italy, Hungary, and Russia who take the medals, and that is a superb swim. Now remember, of course, Katie Ledecky probably shouldn't go off for the next 2 years, and we don't expect her to. It's all about 2nd place, isn't it? It's all about the silver and the bronze when you get to Tokyo, and Quadarella has put herself in a position where she's challenging for that.
Well, at 8:16 is a really tough time. So, yeah, you mentioned Katie Ledecky already has an 8:07 to her name this year, and we have a couple of Chinese swimmers who might emerge as favorites for the silver and bronze medals. But Simona Quadarella will be in the mix.
I think he liked that. I think he was quite happy with that. I think she is too. Great swim. Italians are absolutely delighted by that, as well they should be, and well done to them for getting that performance out of Quadarella. 8:16.35, beating the rest of the field by a long way.
You know, you're not supposed to swim as a woman against a man because you have all those waves that you cannot ride, and those big bodies to compete against. It's really not good for a woman.
That's why the medley relay is interesting, because if you have a really strong female breaststroke, for example, you are going to put her on breaststroke regardless, aren't you? So sometimes she might be up against Adam Peaty, somebody like that. You don't have that choice.
Even if so even if she's good in breaststroke, if she's up against Adam Peaty, she'll lose the race. I mean, the country's going to lose the race.
Be quiet, here's the boss. President of LEN. Don't often see him without a tie. I've got to say, he's looking a bit cash today. Yeah. And there's a bit of a difference in size there. Should have got her a box. Anyway, here are the 3, and here is the recipient of the bronze medal, Anna Egorova of Russia, who was in quite a battle with Orgoloka Kapas. Got the better of her. Ultimately, the Hungarian finishing back in 5th place, but they were going head-to-head for quite a while. Yes,
and the final 100 meters, very typical of Philippe Duca, the great French coach, who currently trains Anna Egorova, who improved her personal best by another 5 seconds for this final.
Well, that's what you can do in longer events, of course, is take massive chunks out. And Hungary has another medal. Now, you say her surname much better than I do, so you say it.
That's Aina Keisei.
Right, because you know that everybody else in Europe will say Kessler, don't you? Because that's how it's pronounced, but
No, it is pronounced Keisei.
yeah. Here she is with seal. We were pondering earlier on how many seals you see off the coast around here, but as the mascot for the European Championships, swimming and elsewhere. And, well, she was a class apart in the 800, and she will be surely in 2 years' time the biggest, well, one of the biggest European challengers, if not the biggest European challenger to Katie Ledecky. Simona Quadarella, what a year she's had, improving in leaps and bounds, doing her best time here, and basically blitzing the field. She decided on a race plan. I'm going to make sure that nobody else gets close to me, and she did that.
That was a very clever race plan. So not easing off in the first 400 meters and then making her move. No, she pulled away from the 100-meter or the 200-meter mark.
Well, for me, along with the Brazilian anthem, probably the best anthem in the world, the Italian anthem. The only problem is you have a chance to go for a three-course meal while it's playing and come back and it's still going. But everybody remembers it and everybody wants to sing along to it, and the Italian commentator in the next booth to us, we're taking selfies through it. That's a modern phenomenon, isn't it? So we've got a gold medal. We'll take selfies of ourselves in the commentary box. There's the coach. We saw a lot of him during the race, didn't we?
Now he's relieved.
And she is mightily proud, as indeed he should be, of her, the way she swam that. It showed real maturity in her 800. I'm sure the likes of Rebecca Adlington, I know, is covering this for the BBC, and Jazz Carlin will be looking and thinking, yeah, that's how I'd like to have swum that race.
And I think all three medal winners should be very, very proud and satisfied with what they've achieved. Aina Keisei, a new European junior record to her name. Of course, Quadarella taking the European title in a personal best time. And also Anna Yegorova, an absolutely new name. And now she's bronze medalist from the European Championships.
$1,500, in case you hadn't heard, we were talking about earlier, is now part of the Olympic program in 2 years' time. So the likes of our medal winners there may well be thinking about stepping up to do nearly twice the distance. There are 400 and 800 specialists, and there are 800 and 1,500 specialists. I don't know quite which category these three fall into, but we may see them do the 15 as well.
I think we'll see them. And also, all of them have a good shot for the medal.
Oh, she'll be capturing a lot of hearts in Italy. They've had a couple of good weeks.